Hello and welcome to your favorite news show for all your coverage on politics, sports, celebrity deaths, and weather. To start it off, let's introduce everybody's favorite meteorologist, Tyler Francis.
Okay, so here we have our 7-day forecast. Goes Saturday all the way through Friday, obviously, because today's Saturday. We have a low of 70s to 60s all the way through, and then we're gonna be 3 days rainy, 3 days just cloudy, and our highs are around 80, 90-ish, and this will be pretty fun days to go outside and play. You could go play in the rain, but remember it's also going to be pretty humid, so you may want to wait off on that. Be sure to check your thermometer at home for altitude changes. The dew point is 59. With wind chill factor, our temperature goes about the same, so we just keep it at 83. Our anemometers are telling us that the wind speed is going to be 10 miles per hour today. The barometers say that the air pressure will be 30.22 R. We have precipitation of 10 inches through southern Florida. So again, it's going to be pretty rainy, it's going to be pretty humid, but tomorrow it'll be a lot nicer. Here is our radar for today. As you can see, there are a lot of rains that are moving from western Florida to the southern coast, and it'll be diminishing. So if you are on the southern eastern-ish place, then you will be totally fine. But if you are on the western southern side, then obviously you will have a lot of rain, so be expecting that. And it will soon get very hot. It'll be about 83 degrees, so it will warm up and be very stale in the air. So if you're fixing your hair, then you might want to hold off on that because it will get frizzy. Right now we have a hurricane raging in South Florida. Hurricane Francis has killed 5,463 people from the Keys. I am now going to hand it over to our live reporter, Nate Keller.
Thanks, Tyler. I'm down here in Key West with live coverage from Hurricane Francis. There have been many reports of people getting crushed by falling debris and drowned in the floodwater. These people are working together to survive treacherous floods and winds. This is the most destructive hurricane we've seen in the past 20 years, and it seems this hurricane is hitting Category 5 and is really something to see. Hurricanes are rapidly rotating, circulating storm systems characterized by a low-pressure center and a closed-in, low-level atmospheric circulation. Strong winds and a spiral arrangement of thunderstorms that produce heavy rain. They are similar to a monsoon. Hurricanes are caused when water vapor condenses and warms the air enough to form large storms. We're here on the leeward side for most of the wind, so it's a little more calmer than the windward side. There is a maritime tropical air mass coming from the Atlantic Ocean, bringing warm and moist weather to Houston, Texas, though. One other thing that brings moist weather are El Nino and La Nina phases, which bring tons of precipitation. Your rain gauge will experience overflowing, and your thermometer will be showing very high temperatures. We are the only country experiencing some major storms, though. Sri Lanka is experiencing a cyclone, and the Philippines is experiencing an anticyclone, the same air mass that cause high-pressure systems on the western part of the United States. You may see the words high and low, or just the letters H and L. These words are letters tell locations of centers with high-pressure air masses and centers with low-pressure air masses. In high-pressure center, the air is higher than the surrounding air. The rays coming from the sun are bent near the thermosphere and mesosphere due to the Coriolis effect. Convection currents cause global winds and local winds all over the world. Now to you, Daniel.
El Nino has been associated to diminishments in Atlantic storm, developing precipitation to Florida, all in the midst of fall, winter, and spring. Reduced risk of wildfires and higher chance of flooding. El Nino, for the foremost portion, brings over typical expanded storminess over the southern U.S., increases the chance of extraordinary climate in Florida in the midst of El Nino winters. The channel coast by and expensive seas, cooler and wetter conditions, not since of different cold flare-ups, but since of the more grounded effect on the subtropical fly stream. Storm tracks are more far off on the ordinary, making more clouds, rain, and extraordinary climate. You will see a few impacts of La Nina and El Nino within the exosphere and ionosphere. The troposphere is the lowest layer of the Earth's atmosphere. Now to Rehan, where he will talk to you about air
Thanks,
masses.
Daniel. Air masses are a huge body of air that has similar temperature, pressure, and humidity throughout. As air descends, it warms, inhibiting cloud formation. When air warms, it begins to rise due to being more dense than other air around it. The pressure and temperature drop and makes water vapor condense. When enough water vapor is created, it creates a cloud. Here we have a cumulus cloud, cumulonimbus, or a stratocumulus. Scientists use many different instruments for weather. One of them is a barometer. A barometer is used to measure air pressure. Isobars are lines on a map that have the same air pressure. Unfortunately, there are no isobars in Miami, but there are many in the United States. Another common instrument is a thermometer. A thermometer can be used to measure temperatures. Lines of equal temperatures are called isotherms. Fortunately, we do use isotherms in Miami, Florida. And even in the U.S. A psychrometer consists of a wet bulb thermometer and a dry bulb thermometer. It is attached to a handle and surrounded by a glass frame. On the other end, it is a swivel handle. To find the dew point of relative humidity, you need to look at the thermometer and find the difference between the wet bulb and temperature and the dry bulb temperature. The weather systems in the United States are producing bad weather. There's a warm front coming from Michigan and a cold front coming from Canada, clashing right at the border between Canada and Minnesota. Another cold front is coming from Nebraska, but starts with a stationary front and turning into a cold front in Colorado and back to a stationary front near Nevada. There's a high pressure system near the Atlantic coast of the United States. There's also one near the border of West Virginia and Virginia. The cold front causes the temperature to decrease by about 12 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit. The warm front near Michigan increases the temperature by 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The western half of the United States will have rainy weather. The Rocky Mountains will receive some snow, but an average amount.
Thanks for watching your evening weather. Stay tuned for the Oranges Talk Show to hear more about the Manchester bombing. Good night.